Hey, it's Felipe. I want to tell you the story about how I doubled my money. And in this case, it was a co-op investment. This is actually the most successful investment I've ever had. 3 things. 1, be inquisitive and investigate. It started with me looking for the smartest person I knew to help me with a trash hauling campaign in one of the co-op campaigns I was leading about 9 years ago. I asked everybody I knew who was the smartest person they knew in this sector that could help me out. Fortunately, I found just the guy. Then I stayed in touch with him. Because he was so helpful, he went the extra mile to help me out. We followed up over and over again, and we stayed in touch. I think staying in touch with those smartest people in our lives is vital to finding key opportunities that can become strategic investments like this. The funny story, I actually coached him not to go to business school about 3 years ago. He was genuinely thinking about that or starting his own thing. He wasn't sure. My second big piece of advice, reflect. Take the time you need to slow down and really do the deeper investigation of what's most important to you. What's most important for creating a livable future. Think about how our money can align with that. But also do your due diligence. In this case, I got to see this entrepreneur through an accelerator program, got to know him intimately in that space, and got to see other people validate some of the key hypotheses he was trying to test with his business. But most importantly, he had a livable future impact. When I think about my investments, I think about the financial return, but also the non-financial part. For me, the livable future impact. That livable future impact, I'm looking as much for that to be super high, super transformative, super crazy. And in this case, it combined labor, gig workers, platform economy, just an exploding part of our economy. And also where I see the most exploitation happening. And so if we can mitigate how that happens by increasing the power of the little guy in this situation, and that's exactly what this co-op is doing, to me, that has a huge livable future impact because it diminishes the inequality we see driven by so many other kinds of enterprises. And the third piece of advice that helped me make this, I took the leap. This was not an easy decision to make this investment. It was super early stage. I was one of the very first investors, but it was an exploding sector. And most importantly, the platforms in the sector were just crushing the little guy. And I think the empathy I have for what it's like to be a worker, a gig worker in these shoes that are being the people organized, and the way I saw his humility, his integrity, his groundedness because of his background and how experienced he was in operating with really those kinds of people, but also with grass tops and foundations and political and thinking strategic campaigns, his ability to have operate in that community organizing, labor organizing space and bring that sophistication to the platform sector, co-ops, tech platforms, things, that ambition and that level of impact. I'm doing a special Q&A session just to get to know him and the business model on December the 11th. I hope you'll join me.